Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, October 13th, 2015. I wanted to make this video, like promised, to tell you all about my experience at NerdCon this weekend. It was a absolutely amazing event. I had so much fun. I learned a lot of stuff. I got to meet some really cool authors. Um, Not necessarily meet like one on one, but like see them and hear, listen to them talk, and give different readings and presentations. And also, they had a lot of fun programs where, they were just laughing and joking around and creating stories. We did a group Mad Libs together, which was really fun, and it was NerdCon themed. So you had, a couple thousand or 100 people in a room in a big auditorium, all shouting words to try to fill in the Mad Lib. And that was incredibly, I mean, that was hilarious. It was so much fun. So I'll just kind of give you my day-to-day itinerary. I left for Minneapolis on Thursday afternoon after classes. Early evening, I had a 5:40 flight, I think. And I got there about 8:30. Or no, I'm sorry, I got there at 7:30 Minneapolis time, 8:30 our time, I think. And then I went straight to the hotel and met up with my roommates. We had met online through Facebook. There was a group on Facebook for what we called NerdCon Lone Wolves, so people who were going to the event but didn't know anyone yet. So I was able to like meet people through there and get roommates and stuff. So that was really fun. So much talking. We had a really good time. I mean, I had a good time with them. I think we all were, sitting around and talking and laughing and having fun. So that was good. Flight was fine, had a good time. That was my first time flying alone, so that was a really interesting experience, but something I'm glad I, have finally done and gotten, notch on my belt. Yeah, there you go. That's the phrase. Sorry, I'm a little tired. But yeah, so that was really good. Okay, so then Friday was when the event started. I got a number of things. I got a tote bag, and then this is the program we were given, and I got a name tag, which I can never move in webcams. This is my name tag. It's got, attendee, my name, and then these are ribbons from the Harry Potter Alliance for their birthday. And one says punk ass book jockey, and one says happy birthday HPA. If you don't know about the Harry Potter Alliance, they're a really, really awesome activist organization, and they work in so many different categories. I could easily spend a whole video talking about them, but I'm not going to right now. But I will put a link to their website in the description, and I highly suggest checking them out. Anyone should check them out, but especially if you love Harry Potter, they're a really great group to get to know and hear from. And okay, so Friday we had. So this has like a bunch of things. It's got like letters from Hank and Patrick Rothfuss and different things, and a map, websites, signings. So basically, like, I'll just show you kind of briefly. You don't need to like read all of this information, but like this is like the schedule we had, and it was the same for Friday and Saturday. And then you had like nighttime events and quotes and stuff like that. So that was basically what happened. So there was a basic setup that worked. You had a main stage event in the morning, and then you had 3 time slots of panels, and at each of those 3 time slots there were 3 panels available to choose from, and they were each an hour. Main stage was an hour and a half, and also during those times you could go down to, there was a vendor room with a whole bunch of different merchandise, the Harry Potter Alliance, obviously a lot of book tables. DFTBA warehouse had a area. Lots of really cool stuff. So yeah, I mean, I could go into a ton of detail. And then also there were signings with a number of the artists and creators. So those were at different times. I didn't choose to go to any of those. I wanted to focus just on the panels. So then after those 3 panels, there was a second main stage event, which was also an hour and a half. And then so programming was from 9 to 5, and then you had a break, and then there were evening activities. So that was like 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and those were a lot more like laid back and fun while still being focused on stories and, somewhat educational. It wasn't like, not like the other ones were formal, but just that it wasn't like a set up panel Q&A type thing. It was more of a like laid back, watch the entertainment type thing, and sometimes be involved in the entertainment. Same thing happened for Saturday, and then I came home on Sunday. So to give you some more details, I'll talk about like the different events I went to, things that I really loved. I really loved one of the big things throughout the event. Obviously, it was all about stories, and we're all made of stories and stuff like that. So there were, I'm trying to remember how many there were, like 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. So during the main stages, on Friday and Saturday morning and afternoon, there were a total of 7 presentations about on the topic of why stories matter from a bunch of different artists. And those were a lot of fun and really deep and meaningful on most times. John Green gave a really moving speech, and I mean, they were all fantastic. I don't want to like sit here and go into way too much detail for you, but they were really enjoyable. I can flip through and show you some of the people that have been here. I'm reading because I would never remember all of them. Here, I'll just show you pictures. These people, N.T. Anderson, he was really cool. Cecil Baldwin. There were a lot of people from the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, which is actually something I had not heard of before. But it sounds really cool, and now I want to check it out. It's a serial fictional podcast. So it sounds really interesting. I can't tell you a ton of information about it, but it's really cool. I highly recommend it. And I had the same thing, like a lot of these writers I didn't know ahead of time, and now I've like heard about them and heard stuff, just like, their personalities and things. And so now I want to, read more of their stuff, which is great. However, I have a really long reading list. And I also got a couple of books at the event, so I've got a lot of books that I need to read, but that's a good thing. So this is more people. There were a lot of people. It was really cool. I mean, this was not an event that was attended by 3 people. I mean, this was, they had a lot of featured guests, and this was really cool. So, those are all of the guests. And, yeah, okay. So, I don't want to talk, like, forever and ever, even though I easily could, because it was such an amazing weekend. I could go into so much detail for you, but that's going to kind of be boring. You don't want to watch a 20-minute video. But yeah, I mean, it was just so educational and eye-opening, and it wasn't, boring educational. Like, it wasn't like they were sitting lecturing to us and we had to take notes, I mean, some people did take notes. I definitely, like, wrote some stuff down, but it wasn't a, super formal, strict atmosphere. Obviously, like, it was a convention. It was fun. It was, entertaining, and I think the featured guests a lot of times had just as much fun as we did in some of the situations. There was a panel where a couple of authors read things that they had written when they were like teenagers. And, it was really nice to see that even these, really now really successful and like New York Times bestselling authors and like, have all this money and are pretty world renowned, sucked just like the rest of us when they were 14, So it was just kind of very grounding because you kind of look at these people and just kind of assume they were always perfect for some reason, even though they're human. It's so difficult to see them as the same as yourself. And I think that's with everyone, actors, singers, dancers, anyone. So it was kind of fun and interesting to have, Holly Black come up and read a story she wrote as a teenager and have her like laughing and joking about it as well and kind of being like, this makes no sense. Why did I write this? So it's like, okay, I'm not the only one who has that problem. So that was really nice. And yeah, I mean, if you want more details, please contact me. I would love to talk about this in more detail and give you so much more information. And I can tell you, specifics about panels I went to, specifics about people I saw, anything you'd like to know. I just obviously don't want to be making a 45-minute video. But yeah, I mean, it was so incredible. If you like reading stories, if you like writing stories, even if you do different types of stories, that was also there. If you're a musician, if you're a songwriter, if you put on puppet shows, they had a puppet show, which was really, really funny, and such a great, version of stories that people don't think about. Um, so yeah, I mean, music, art, dancing, writing, reading, puppet shows, um, and any form of story. I mean, that was the point of the weekend, was that like we humans are kind of defined by their stories. Um, so I mean, if you are into any of that stuff, I highly, 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 seriously recommend trying to attend NerdCon 2016. I'm pretty sure that is definitely happening. I think they announced that. And I have decided halfway through the convention, I was like, this needs to happen next year, and as soon as tickets are released, I am buying them, and then no matter when it is, I will make it work in my schedule. I mean, this is how much I enjoyed that. um, I'm literally like, I don't care what's going on, I don't care what's happening, I will make this work in my schedule. I will build my schedule for next year around NerdCon, because I need to be there again, because it was just such an incredible, incredible experience. And I'll leave you on one last note, do a little wrap up. I know this video is really long. I'm sorry about that, guys. I couldn't talk about this in 3 minutes. So one final note is I mean, I just want to thank everyone that was involved. Hank, this was his idea originally. It was amazing. I know John, I'm sure, had a major part in it. Um, Patrick Rothfuss did a lot. Everybody did a lot, and it was just amazing. Thank you to all the featured guests. Thank you for all the attendees, the tech crew, everyone involved at the convention center who did an amazing job. Hotel staff, everyone like that. And it was just a really, not only was it like a fun experience, it was a really special experience, going to the first convention, you know. And I think they're always going to be amazing, and I think it will probably start growing the same way that VidCon did. Hopefully, in my opinion, I hope it doesn't get quite as big as VidCon, because I liked the smaller feel, but we'll see what happens, and I would still want to be going no matter what. But it was definitely special to be at something, and no one knew more than anyone else, and we were all kind of building this and crafting this together, and it was definitely an incredible feeling. And yeah, I mean, I wished when I got home, people were like, "How was it?" I'm like, "I wish I was still there. I wish it was 4 days longer." Um, I've been anticipating this. I bought my ticket on March 28th, so I was anticipating this for 6 months, and it definitely lived up to, or most likely exceeded, my expectations by a lot, because I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, okay, this video is getting incredibly long. I apologize. So I'll leave you with that. Please contact me through YouTube, my Facebook channel, my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, my Twitter feed, my website, anything. I would love to give you more information. I would love to answer any questions you may have. And yeah, maybe I'll see you guys at NerdCon 2016. All right, see you in a few weeks for a new vlog. Talk to you later.